With Manchester City's recent capture of the Premier League and their reaching of the FA Cup and Champions League final, they might accomplish a feat that no other English side has since Sir Alex Ferguson's team of '99, win the treble, which begs the question, which of these two sides is better? In this video, I'll be comparing the two teams in depth, everything from their formation, player-by-player comparisons, their road to the final, and lastly, I'll do a combined 11, so stick around to the end. Many labeled the United squad that won the treble in '99 as the greatest English team of all time. In the summer of '98, Alex Ferguson broke the transfer record and signed Jaap Stam and Dwight Yorke. The United squad that lined up in '99 looked like this. But this team only started together in 2 games during the entire season of '98-99. Ferguson rotated his team a lot during this time, knowing whoever came off the bench would be hungry. Players like Nicky Butt featured in 47 games in all competitions, whereas Phil Neville played 44 games. The United squad that won the Premier League in '99 did it with 79 points. That's with 3 defeats, but 13 draws. Comparing that with City's team today that won the league this season, City suffered 5 defeats, but they only drew 5 games, winning the league with 89 points. To put things into context, Arsenal ended the season with more points than the United team that won the league in '99. The margin of error in today's Premier League is a lot less. But of course, times have changed, and that stat alone doesn't tell the whole story. Now, looking at the teams that United beat to their treble in '98-99, Arsenal lost the league by just 1 point. Just look at the Arsenal squad. They had players like Emmanuel Petit, Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Vieira, Frank Overmars, Nicolas Anelka, and others. Beating a team like that, with Arsene Wenger at the helm, deserves a lot of praise. The United team of '98-99 lined up with a 4-2-2, which is a much different formation that we're accustomed to today, with Andy Cole and Dwight Yorke playing up front. United played a high tempo that involved Paul Scholes pushing up high up the pitch to link up with Cole and Yorke. Both Cole and Yorke would be aerial targets from goal kicks. The double pivot of Paul Scholes and Roy Keane had a good balance of offense and defense. But a lot of United's games was built around 1-2s, with Paul Scholes looking to release players into space. During that time, Ferguson's philosophy was predicated around 1 up, 1 down in the midfield, where Roy Keane stayed behind and Paul Scholes looked to push forward. Left back Dennis Irwin was 32 years old during that season. He lacked the energy to go up and down the pitch, giving a lot of offensive responsibility to Ryan Giggs. However, David Beckham had the benefit of a 23-year-old Gary Neville providing overlaps. Beckham would then go into the half space, into similar positions that Kevin De Bruyne picks up currently. I would argue his passing, crossing, and vision was superior to Kevin De Bruyne. This season saw Beckham have 11 assists. Yorke scored 18 goals this season and Cole scored 17, showing more distribution in their goal-scoring responsibility. Now, looking at one of United's most impressive accomplishments this season is their road to winning the Champions League. Although they finished second in their group, they had Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and Norwegian side Brøndby, which many called the group of death. After making it out of the group, United drew Inter Milan in the quarterfinals. This team was deadly. This was during the time where Italy dominated football. United were able to defeat them by a 2-goal margin. Next, United faced Juventus in the semifinal. Now, if there's a team you didn't want to face at that time, it was Juventus. Ferguson's United were able to get a win away in Turin by an 84th minute goal by Andy Cole. United's victory meant that they were going to face Bayern Munich in the final at the Nou Camp in Barcelona. It took Bayern Munich only 6 minutes to score, but United made a famous comeback with 2 goals in the 90th minute by Teddy Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Winning this Champions League is a massive feat with all the opponents that United had. Summarizing United's FA Cup victory, United defeated Chelsea, Middlesbrough, Liverpool, and Arsenal on their way to playing Newcastle in the final. Fergie's squad won 2-0 at Wembley against Newcastle thanks to goals by Sheringham and Paul Scholes. Now, switching to Pep Guardiola's squad, winning 3 Premier League titles in a row and winning the title again this season after being second for the majority of the season shows serious resilience. After signing Erling Haaland, Pep had to once again adapt his team to having a traditional number 9. Prior to Pep coming to England, the idea of teams playing the ball out of the back was not widely adopted. Pep changed and is still changing English football with his distinct style of. Now, looking at Pep's strongest 11, you could argue player for player, they're a stronger team than United, but making an oversimplification like that would be a big mistake. This is currently City's strongest 11. Unlike the United team, this squad played more games together and has suffered less injuries. But Pep has incorporated a lot more rotation of his squad this season. But the biggest difference between them this season and last is the inclusion of Erling Haaland. His physical presence and runs behind the last defender makes City a deadly team to play against, with a lot more versatility. We should take into account that City did do the three-peat, which should count for a lot. Even Ferguson's team from '99 lost the league in the previous season to Arsenal. Now, looking at City's playing style, Pep has adapted his team this year by having Stones move into the midfield to create a double pivot with Rodri. If we look at City's dominance this season in the Champions League, their path to the final was daunting and deserves a lot of praise. Unlike the Champions League of '98, their current structure includes a round of 16. City played Leipzig, demolishing them and subsequently comfortably beating Bayern Munich and the current champions Real Madrid. The quality of opposition was not of the teams that United faced in '98, but the manner in which City destroyed their opponents makes you believe they would have been able to compete during that time. Now, City plays Inter Milan in the final, but given the performance and gap in quality between the two sides, City's first Champions League seems inevitable. Even looking at City's run to the FA Cup final, they had to play a tough Arsenal side, beat Chelsea on the way to the final. If there's any team that can realistically say that they have a shot at stopping City's treble, it's United. Their counter press and ability to be strong in transitions can go unappreciated at times. On their day, they can beat any team. Now, lastly, looking at a combined 11, City gets 6 players, slightly getting the edge over United in my opinion. I was going back and forth between Walker and a prime Gary Neville, but ultimately went with Kyle Walker, given his pace and ability to be involved in the build-up play. Both managers were ahead of their time and maximized output from their squads. The only real question remaining is, will City complete the treble? In conclusion, the United squad that won the treble has to get a lot of praise for beating out arguably a better Arsenal side. Their path to winning the Champions League was a lot more challenging than City's. Their direct style of playing football would have given any modern team today a difficult time. However, this City team is winning the Champions League, has won the league 3 times in a row. They only lost 3 times this entire season, and their offensive versatility is scary. In a home and away game, I would give the edge to City, but only by the smallest of margins. Now, if you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.